Hey everyone, thanks for tuning in. Ross Chakrian here at Mr. CPE on Twitter, bringing you the second part of my Audacity tutorial videos here. So the first part we covered how to import a song and just basic button functionalities, as well as zooming in, zooming out, and how to select things as well. So if you want to check out that video first, that's a precursor to this one. Be sure to do that. But this video is mainly going to focus on how to do specific edits within this software. In my teaching, I'll be honest with you, I do not like using Kids Pop. I find it very irritating for some reason. So I use all real music, and because of that, it's getting harder and harder, I find these days, to find totally clean music that is appropriate without making any changes to it at all. So because of that, I use Audacity a lot to edit the things in the song, to omit things and to change things so it is appropriate for my elementary PE students. So that's really the necessity out of why I use Audacity in my teaching. But in this video, we're going to focus basically on how to delete portions of a song here, how to speed up or slow down the tempo of a song, how to remove vocals, which is really cool, and also how to do some other edits along those same lines if there's some maybe inappropriate lyrics or what have you. So we already have a song open here that's imported already, Chainsmokers Closer. I'm just going to zoom in really quick just to give myself a little better view. So for the first thing we're going to do is how to delete a portion of the song. So in that last tutorial that I did for you, we learned how to select things. So I'm going to kind of just start at the beginning here and give it a play. And I want to delete the intro of the song. I want the song to start when the first vocal hits. So I have to kind of figure out at what point in time that happens. So I'm going to listen to it really closely and kind of make a mental note of where that first vocal drops. Okay, so it's right about here, right after the 10-second mark. So I'm going to kind of delete, or I'm going to select, sorry, from that point on over. And once I have done that, stop the song. Once I have done that and selected it, I can go and now change this if I wanted to. So I could do lots of different effects here, and we'll explore a couple of those. But I just want to delete this first part here. And something that's important about, before we even do the delete, if I did this again, if I had played the song and I hit the pause button and I went to go and try to highlight this and select it to make a change, and I go to the effect panel, you notice how these are all grayed out now. That's because the song is paused, and not stopped. It has to be stopped before you can have any access to those effects. But basically, if I just want to delete this part, I highlighted it here. All I'm going to do is hit the delete button, and now that portion of the song is gone. And it should start right when that first vocal hits. So if I played it back, perfect. That's exactly what I want. Okay, so that's how to delete a portion of the song, which could be beneficial for you if you want to omit a line or two, a couple bars that are particularly inappropriate, you think, in the song that you'd like to use. That could be beneficial for that. Or if you just want to get rid of a portion for whatever reason, like I did there. Okay, it's a great way to do that pretty easily. So speeding up and slowing down the tempo of a song. This is something I use a lot because the music that I like to play in my gym, I like to be pretty upbeat for the most part in the background as the kids are doing different activities or whatever. But I've also used this functionality, this change in tempo functionality, to really kind of differentiate my dances from my students. So depending on the grade level, I might use this function to either speed up the tempo of a song or slow it down, and kind of have different versions of the same song, but it makes it obviously either harder or easier to dance to, depending on if I sped up the tempo or slowed down the tempo. So that's something that you might be able to find useful as well in your teaching. So to do that, I want to change the tempo of the whole song. So I'm just going to do edit, select all here. So that'll just select the entire song in gray from beginning to end. And now I'm going to go over to that effect tab, and I'm going to go to tempo, change tempo, and I can change it to whatever I want. So I usually just use the percentage change here, and it's just a sliding scale. So 0 obviously would be home base. It kind of saves the settings what you did last, so that's why mine was starting at 20. But 0 would be no change. If I wanted to speed it up, I would go into the positive range. If I wanted to slow it down, I would go into the negative range. So if I want to speed it up a little bit, because I think the song's a little too slow, maybe I speed it up to like a 10% or something there. I can preview it before I make the change official, so I can hear kind of what it sounds like.
Hey, I was doing just fine
So a little faster.
I met you. I drink too much and that's an issue.
Okay, so that sounds good to me. I'll hit OK. If I wanted to change it again, I can use the sliding scale once more. Once I do that, it'll apply the change. And that's going to shorten the song a little bit when you speed it up, obviously. Didn't do it really by too much here. But now that change is put into effect.
I was doing just fine before I met you.
A little faster than before. If I wanted to undo that, I can just do edit, undo, change tempo, go back to the way it was originally. If I wanted to slow it down, same thing, change tempo, but now just kind of go to the negative side of things. So maybe I want to make it 10% slower. See what that sounds like.
I was doing just fine before I met you. I drink too.
And again, if you like that, hit OK. If not, you can change it a little bit more. But I usually do, I use the negative side of things, make it a little slower for my younger students, and for dance types of things, if I wanted to use this as a dance song for whatever reason. And for my higher level students, my older students, I might make it a little faster to give them a little more of a challenge if I'm doing a dance with them. I'm going to make it I'm just going to make it 10% maybe. Okay, I'm going to keep that. So I like it a little bit faster. So that's really the speed up, slow down function, the change tempo function. I find that very useful in my teaching. Like I said, you might find it just as useful in yours. Another portion of this, another effect that's really cool in here is something called vocal remover. So like I said in the beginning, it's harder and harder for me to find songs nowadays that are totally clean, where I don't have to make any changes to them at all. So I have to kind of do that on my own in a variety of different ways. So for example, if I wanted to start at the beginning here, and I wanted to omit the part where it said, drink too much, that's an issue, to find it first.
Hey, I was doing just fine before I met you. I drink too much and that's an issue.
Okay, so that's from maybe about here to here or so. So if I select that, I can play it back now, but then I have that selection, and just listen to that part.
Much and that's an issue.
Okay, so I didn't quite get it. And you'll notice once I go into this gray area here, I have like these two little hands, these little pointer fingers. I can click and push it over a little bit just to kind of adjust where I'm selecting, which is pretty cool, pretty neat. So let's see if I found the right spot now.
Too much and that's an issue.
A little more, I think.
Too much and that's an issue. I drink too much and that's an issue.
Okay, so that's about right there. It's perfect. So if that's the part I want to change, I have it selected now. The effect I'm going to use here is down at the bottom, vocal remover. And this one doesn't work exactly as it's stated all the time. You have to kind of play around with it. Some songs it'll work better than others, and I'm not exactly sure why that is. I've kind of been hit or miss with it. Sometimes it takes the vocals out, sometimes it doesn't. And I'm not an expert by any means in the technicalities of this program, but I'll kind of show you this first. If it works, great, that's awesome, because it'll remove the vocals but keep the kind of background instrumental, so the song kind of keeps with the flow. So all I need to do is, once that's selected there, hit vocal remover. And I'm not really messing with this stuff. Like I said, I don't really know too much about the technicalities of these numbers here. I'm just going to hit OK. Or actually, no, I'm going to hit preview first and see what it sounds like. So that's pretty good. So it kind of kept the beat of the music, the instrumentals in the background, but it pretty much took the vocals down to nothing. So that's exactly what I wanted. So in this instance, it worked pretty well. So hit OK. And now, if I wanted to go and play from the beginning, that part should be changed.
Hey, I was doing just fine before I met you. But I'm okay.
Perfect. That's exactly what I wanted to do. So that's kind of one way that you can do it. Another way that you can edit vocals and change them to how you see fit is by using the reverse feature. So I still have this selected here. I'm going to go up to Effect and then Reverse. And basically what this does is just reverses that selection that you made. It reverses the vocals, it reverses the instruments, it reverses everything. So it kind of just makes everything like a blur, and you can't understand at all what it's saying. And this works better maybe for like shorter types of edits that you want to make. This edit is a little bit long. If it's about a second or less, it sounds a little bit better. But I'll kind of just let you see and hear what it does here. So if I go to reverse, it flipped the script on it, and I play it back in the beginning.
I was doing just fine before I met you. But I'm okay.
So that's basically what it sounds like. So you can't understand at all what that happens to be saying. So that's another one that you can do it if the vocal remover doesn't work for you. I'm going to undo that. Another thing that you can do is just to generate a silence. So when that's selected, okay, you can just generate silence during that selection there, and it just will completely take everything out of the equation and have a moment of silence there within the song. Sounds like this.
Doing just fine before I met you. But I'm okay.
Okay, so that's another thing that you can do. Or if you want to just delete that part altogether, like we did before in the beginning when we took out that introduction part, all you have to do is just hit delete, and that way it's totally gone with no effects at all.
Hey, I was doing just fine before I met you, but I'm okay.
So that's another option that you have there. So a few different options for editing, editing out expletives and things of that nature as you see fit. And that's basically all the functions and all the effects that I use Audacity for. Like I said, I'm not an expert by any means on it. I kind of keep it pretty simple. But change in tempo, speed up or slow down the song, I use that one a lot. And then whether it's vocal remover, reverse, generate silence, or just delete the inappropriate lyrics altogether, I use those quite a bit as well. So I have my edited song here. Now I want to export it. So all I would do is go up to File, Export Audio, and I can make it the title, save it as whatever I want and wherever I want. Chain smokers closer. I'll just put edited in parentheses so I know it's not the original. Save it. Okay. And then 20 seconds or so, and it'll be done. So that's basically it for Audacity. It's a really cool editing program. So give it a shot, play around with it a little bit. If you have any questions, you can always reach out to me on Twitter at Mr. CPE, and I'll be glad to help you out as best as I can. Hope you guys found this to be informative, and I'll see you later. Bye.